Well, here we are with all the heavy rain we've seen already this spring, and you know more is coming. It could make you vulnerable to flooding, but there are some things you can do to protect yourself. And this morning, Paul Harkins from Roto-Rooter is here to help. And you've been doing this 40 years, is that right?
Over 40 years.
Okay, so he knows what he's talking about. So we're going to listen really well to you today, okay?
Okay, very good.
Let's talk first about basement sump pump. What needs to be done?
You need to test your sump pump, and you do that by using a garden hose or a 5-gallon bucket. Pour the water into the pit. Make sure the pump should turn on, almost empty the pit, and then turn back off. If it does not do that properly, call a plumber if it needs to be repaired or replaced.
Because you were telling me that the big point of this whole today is it's cheaper to prevent than cleanup.
It is. It's always cheaper to do preventative maintenance than it is to repair after a bad flood has occurred.
And you're called out all the time after a flood?
24/7.
So you've seen it many times when people think, it can't happen to me.
No, people think it all the time. Sometimes a lot of people don't realize there's actually additional coverage you may need on your insurance policy for backup coverage and mold or fungi coverage. A lot of times that's not included in your standard policy.
Okay, so something to look for as well. Now let's talk about burst washing machine hoses. You say that's a risk of flooding. Why?
That's the #1 risk of flooding in a home because the hoses are constantly placed on pressure and off, on pressure and off. So because of that abuse, a lot of them eventually rupture and burst and causes flooding. A homeowner should look for bubbles in the hose, always watch for wet spots under the hose, and check them constantly. And if you can, you should replace those with stainless steel braided hoses because they last longer and burst much less.
Okay, so when you talk about checking them often, are we talking as much as you change out or clean out the lint, whatever it is, the lint, what is it called? Like the little lint catcher, the lint catcher.
Filter?
Yeah, I mean, is that how often you should be checking them?
I'd say that would work very well.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
That's quite often.
It is.
Okay, how long does the average lifespan for a water heater for people who are new homeowners?
Water heater lasts an average of about 11 years. You should always check for cracks, leaks. Rust is a sign that a lot of times you will not see water, but when you see rust developing, it's an indication of a problem is going to happen.
Okay, that's an indication get something done.
It is.
We're talking about indoors a lot, but there's also some things that need to be done outdoors, like yard drains, roof gutters. What else needs to be looked at?
You have to make sure that the drains are not blocked with debris such as leaves and limbs. A lot of people do not realize that outside drain, especially if it's near your basement door, if that gets clogged with leaves or debris, it'll fill up and eventually go into your home, and a lot of times that's referred to as surface water, and that is a lot of times not covered by insurance.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so that's one of those, and that's an easy fix, too, to go out this weekend. We're going to have dry weather. What else needs to be looked at outside?
You've always got to watch for the drainage plane, as it's referred to, and you want water to flow away from your home. And for instance, if the downspouts are full of water not draining properly, they will pull away from the home. That will also cause water to pool at the foundation of your home, and eventually that water may work its way into your home.
Now, when should you call an expert in?
Call an expert in anytime you feel unsafe. You have an occurrence where, for instance, if you have mold growth, if you have 10 square feet, you should call an expert, 10 square feet or more. If you're in your home, there's a lot of safety issues to be considered, such as electricity and water do not mix well.
No.
So call an expert. That way you could be saving your life.
Okay, well, listen, Paul Harkins, more than 40 years of experience with Roto-Rooter, would know. Thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Appreciate the time.
Good advice. And a reminder, you can buy your ticket for this